Now, if you can reframe your pain and retrain your brain to start seeing even suffering, what the enemy meant for evil, as something that God can redeem and use for the good, then even when you face adversity through neuroplasticity, you're going to continue to drive your thoughts toward the light and find mental freedom in 2021. We need mental freedom in 2021. Do you feel like you have stinking thinking crowding your mind? Is it hard for you to drive your thoughts toward the light? Do you tend to process, to brood, to overthink, and to catastrophize, meaning you make mountains out of molehills? It's so easy for us to get caught up in this cycle of mental sickness. So I'm going to talk to you about finding mental freedom in 2021. You know, the Bible talks a ton about your mind. The Bible says in Ephesians that we're to be renewed in the spirit of the mind. Romans 12 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Philippians 4 verse 8 says, meditate on whatever is true, noble, lovely, just, pure, virtuous, and praiseworthy. Now, Eastern meditation is about emptying your mind, but Hebrew meditation is about filling your mind. So you're to meditate, Psalm 1 says, on the law of God, that you may bring forth fruit in your season. The Bible talks a lot about your mind, so you need mental freedom in 2021. Now, I want to quote to you a very obscure passage from the prophet Ezekiel to talk about and unpack this theme of mental freedom. Ezekiel said, no longer say in Israel amongst yourselves, our teeth are set on edge because our fathers ate sour grapes. Now, that's a very strange proverb, but it was a simple way of saying that we're the way we are because of our parents. Our teeth are set on edge because our fathers ate sour grapes. And Ezekiel said, do not say that anymore. Don't say that everything is determined by biology or genetic determinism. While that may play a part, you actually have freedom, autonomy, and of your own volition, you can make the choice to think and act differently from your forebears. Now, here's what's fascinating. Daniel Amen is a brain scientist and a psychiatrist, a psychologist, who has done more brain scans than anybody in history. He's literally done 83,000 brain scans over a 22-year career. And he reported that the single most important discovery and find that he and his colleagues had made is that, watch this, the brain can change. Now, some of you say, I'm stuck with my psychological equipment. My teeth are set on edge because my fathers ate sour grapes. I think the way I do because it was passed on to me from the previous generation. But what Daniel Amen is now telling us is that you can actually transform and change your brain. This is what the Bible said all along. Take your thoughts captive. You have the power to pull down strongholds in your mind with the spiritual weapons that God has entrusted to you. The question is, okay, well, how do I change my mind? How do I start thinking in a healthy way? Well, there's a new science called neuroplasticity, which is a fancy word that simply means that your brain, it's malleable. You can bend it, it's pliable. In other words, your brain is not set, your brain is not fixed. You can actually change the neural pathways to go in healthier directions. Now, here's how you do it. It's called rote and repetition in thinking. Even if you don't feel hope, if you continue to practice thinking about hopeful ideas and joyful ideals, then over time, your brain, through muscle memory, will start to become more hopeful and to become more joyful. Through neuroplasticity, being transformed by the renewing of your mind means that you continue to think about hope even if you don't feel it, and over time, your brain can change to receive more hope. Now, in order to have hope even in difficult circumstances, I want to remind you that the Bible teaches that we have to really see suffering the right way. Hebrews 2:10 says that Jesus, the captain of our salvation, was actually made perfect through suffering. You say, I want to be made perfect. Well, how do you get there? Through suffering. Friends, it is pain and adversity that forges our soul into steel and tempers our spirit into iron. Now, if you can reframe your pain and retrain your brain to start seeing even suffering, what the enemy meant for evil, as something that God can redeem and use for the good, then even when you face adversity through neuroplasticity, you're going to continue to drive your thoughts toward the light and find mental freedom in 2021. Suffering actually makes your spirit strong, tempers your soul into steel, and forges your spirit into iron. Angela Duckworth is a psychologist, and she wrote this book about grit. And what Duckworth found is that more than social intelligence, health, high IQ, or good looks, watch this, it is perseverance for very long-term goals that is actually more of a predictor of success than all these other things. So a lot of people think in their mind, like, if I was more healthy, if I had better IQ, if I was more good looking, if I had a better social EQ, then I'd be successful. But what Duckworth found is it's actually perseverance for very long-term goals that is more of a predictor of success across a range of indexes than all those other things. So I want to encourage you to do what Hebrews 12 says, to run the race with endurance, to persevere. When you face adversity, remember that is the very thing that is causing you to come up into the full maturation of the full stature of Christ, to be the likeness of God, which is your teleologic design. You can find mental freedom in 2021 as you continue to drive your thoughts toward the light, as you continue to think about joy, as you continue to meditate on hope. You have power to change your mind through muscle memory, through repetition, and through rote. Continue to think about hope, and over time, you will find that you'll be transformed by the renewing of your mind as you retrain your brain and reframe your pain to achieve mental freedom by the power of God's animating spirit in the year 2021. Ben Courson here. Thank you so much for watching my new YouTube channel. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with all your friends, and hit that bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. May the hope be with you.